and good morning everyone on the first day of December, the first day of winter month. And this is Jurgita with Magic Pond Crafts. And as you see, there's construction still going on. It's been pounding since almost 7 in the morning for us. The road expansion is going on there up to 5 lanes, and they're doing right now on our side here, digging and putting all kinds of things in. So it's been noisy for quite a while, and I don't know how the traffic is going to be then. It's already very hard to get out, especially during like a peak time when people coming back from work or to work, like to turn left, it's practically impossible. And when it's going to be 2 lanes of each side, I don't know how it's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. And since it's first day of new month, I'm starting a new video. And again, let's start with my one of the main projects that I do monthly. And it's like always I try to do in the beginning of the month is my Spoiled Child by Astra Patterns. And that's what I have left to the end of the year. So since I've been working throughout the year, I've been working on 2 rows by 5 blocks. So I have just the 2001 stitches left in that area, but of course I'm probably gonna go a little bit down like I've been doing previously. So I don't know how long it's gonna take. It's gonna be dreary colors, like you can see like a doorknob right here, and it's going to be brownish wooden colors you can kind of see in here. So that's what I'm going to be working on, because her head covering is practically done. I think it's maybe like a few stitches in there. So this is my first whip of the month, and we'll see how it goes. I'm right now saving my edited video and gonna be putting for November update pretty soon on online, and hope you already watched that by the time you do this. So let's start with my Spoiled Child. So this is what we wake up at the entrance. They drilling through, and bus and cars can get in or out, so we have to figure out a way for bus to come other way. Yeah. And several days and several thousand stitches, it's all done. My goal for the year is finished, and it's just beginning of December, so yay for me and for this work. Actually, when I was stitching this area, I mean, when you look at it, it's like those light stitches like totally out of place and look like here, I don't think it's my stitching, it's just how it's supposed to be. And I kept wanting to ask designer, the pattern designer, is like, are you sure you did not make any mistakes in here? But then when I stood further away, you can kind of see that it becomes something more pronounced. It's like a silverish door handle in there. And I also just noticed recently that there's like a shadow of that handle, so the light comes in like this way, seems like it, because like she has a shadow over here and stuff. So I don't know if there's a window in that side somewhere, but it's falling down. So for the next year, I think most of her face, at least the top portion, is gonna disappear under the rolls, but I will unroll it for you when I do my whips that going into the next year. So so far I'm gonna leave it like this, and yeah, next time is gonna be the boy's face in here visible. So very excited with that. And since that one is done, I figured I might as well do one of my game pieces, and I picked out of those 2 because I have 2 letters to stitch minimum this month, so I might as well do Brooks Box alphabet stitches alphabet, and this is what I'm gonna be starting from. So I have done up to L, so the next one is going to be M and then N underneath there. So I haven't looked yet at what pattern requires. I'm going to be pulling out what I have, and we're going to see. I don't know what the M would start for in the stitcher's alphabet, because L would be lace, K is like a knitting, I guess, Japanese thread most likely, I is like, I don't know, is that ice cream or something else. So H is for a hook. So I don't know, I can't come up right now with what M would start for, so we will see, and I'll come back to you when that letter is done. And it's done. It's by my calculations, it was about 721 stitches, and that's where I've included back stitching the way I was doing. So it could be few more or less. It depends how you do your back stitching. It's like over one or what. So the mouse, which is also mouse whiskers, I did straight without the breaking points, because you know, it would look very weird. And in here the M for measuring tape, because you need to close to measure, measuring tape to measure it for the clothes. So that was going all the way through. In beginning I thought not to go all the way to the width of the tape with the markings for every inch, but I tried like to put over one less, but it was too close to what the half an inch would look like. So I took it, frogged it out, and put it fully through, so it would show up a little bit more. So overall it was not bad. By the way, there is two colors of cryonic in here, and though it was suggested to use one as the number 8, which is like a thicker than number 4, of course, I still use the number 4, because I think if you use number 8, it would be way bulkier and it would not look nice at all. So I learned that lesson the hard way. I think I might have had over here done with the number 8 possibly. So it was hard to pull the thread through, but I think number 4, it looks well enough in here. So letter M is done. Ta-da! I actually looked at letter L was done in May, and the other 2 letters were done in February. So far only 4 letters done in the whole year, and now I'm gonna have to roll up the frame because it's not enough the height to do the full letter. I believe I haven't counted, but I think I'm gonna roll it up a bit more, and that's why I have the top rolled this way versus like in the well what I have in the bottom, so it protects a little bit more fabric. So if I rub anything against it, it would be on the back of the fabric. Of course, I'm gonna wash it at the end, because you know it's been a few years since it was started. So I'm gonna once I roll it, I'm gonna do the letter N later on, and that's gonna be N is for the needle. But this is done, and I decided to pick something of my monthlies, and that would be my number 2. Seems like I tried to go in a row. After something colorful, it would be my by Adele Sessler. I think Aileen and Robin would be from a story. So there's just a little bit of the corner left. I actually had for some stitching game, I had to stitch like 30 some stitches, so I quickly stitched it before filming. So anyway, it's just that area left for my plans for this year, and the next year I'm gonna start from here. So again, I'm gonna hide already portion of his face, and so far it's still good. So nothing interesting is gonna be happening in that corner. It's just gonna be like a gray background and some of his hair strings kind of floating around, and that's gonna be it. So it's gonna be darker colors, but that's fine, and hopefully that will take me only a few days, although today we're celebrating first of birthdays of this month, and my husband's, because he's gonna go on a work trip, so we're doing a bit early. with the family, and we went with daughter to our local middle school. They had a holiday, sort of like a crafty show, but mostly it was like a vendors and stuff. It was not very big, and what I liked, what main purpose of us going together there, was that we had kidpreneurs, so kids who were baking and selling stuff. So it was school encourages kids to create things, and we bought some things like I'll add the picture here to show what we bought. So actually, the crocheted items is done by my daughter's friend. So my daughter really liked the purse and those ornaments were very cute, and you can use them as stress balls to kind of squish and play around. It has that nice stuffing in it, so those ornaments will be as a gifts from her to her family members. Well, not me, of course, but I thought it was a very neat idea to have kids also make some money for a holiday to buy stuff for their families, or kind of encouraged to come up and try to do some more things. So that I think that's it, and we'll have to spend this, because it's Sunday. We try to do also like a family Sunday meal, and it coincides with husband's birthday celebration, and I have to get something for my nephew whose birthday is in a few days too. So I will be busy, and I have also a couple orders of custom dominoes to make, so I need to work on that because that's also going to be Christmas present for somebody, I guess. So my stitchy time is going to be cut down a bit, but this should not take very long to stitch, and then I'll show you how it looks like with the full row finished. And this is what it looks like now. I actually even went a bit down lower to kind of finish off the couple threads that were just a little bit of them, and so happy to see it all done. And then I'm gonna have to then cover up next time his face so the girl's face can start popping out, but that's gonna happen only next year, because that's done for this year with this scenery. And I'm very happy because I think I started with just a little bit of his face and beginning of the year, so the rest of that it was done this year. And you know, when you have a monthly stitching, even little bit by little bit, it really fills up by the end of the year. I was surprised how well it turned out, because I started that a while back, and I did not stitch constantly. I mean, I started what it would be in February will be 2 full years, so most of the stitching was done in this year. And when I finished that, I actually had a little bit of a free time that evening, and I grabbed something small, and can you guess what? It was lettuce again. So this was, by my calculations, what I did calculated for me, it was 500, like 41 stitches total counting. So it was not very long. I don't know, like I had a couple hours in one evening after I finished my couple, and then a little bit of the next day, and this was all done. And the back stitching was supposed to be here for the thread, so N stands for needle, and I tried to do, you know, gently and nicely the thread as a back stitching, but I did not like how it looked, so I decided to do like a couching. I mean, you can kind of still see where I grabbed it, but the main part was with 3 threads, so of course, you know, from such a fat, you'll see if I tighten up a little bit more, but that's what I've done. And I was mentioning that the golden color Kreinik was number 4 instead of number 8. And this morning I kind of looked up what I was stitching, and let's see, and it is actually says number 8 braids. So I guess what I meant to say, instead of stitching with two threads, I was stitching only with one thread. So it looks well enough. I tightened it up a little bit more when I put the stitches. So in here it was only corners and the needle itself. So that was all. It was very easy. And after I'm done, since I'm done with this, what's left is exactly 12 letters, and only like 2 letters gonna have sort of like a full coverage, like a eye. Rest of it is gonna be just a partial window, so it's not gonna be humongous amount of stitching it needs to be done. So I'm very happy to say that I finished my more than my plans, what I started in beginning of the year planning. And later on, when I decided to leave only 12 letters, that's what I got. So this is also can be put away, so I'm very excited with that. Then I'm planning to finish another row of something else, and that would be my girl ghost. So it was not in my original plans by the end of the year to finish the whole row, but since so little bit seems like left, I think I'm gonna just try to finish this off. I haven't looked yet exactly how many stitches are left, but I'm stitching this on a 25 count over 1 Lucas fabric strumming, not the 24, but this is 25. So it is a better coverage for darker colors than 24. So I'm just gonna be filling up all those grayish colors like her hair, and it would be really great to finish it off this year, so I can start the next year. I thought about doing not just the like ooh, all the way there like a row, but maybe do more in here, but we'll see. Most of that is just the background, and main part is gonna be giant one here, and then lower somewhere there starts the main girl as the sharpest one. So this part, I guess, is like her ghost part, way bigger. So you can see that I almost finished like ribbons that she had a little bit in here sticking out. So a lot of that is going to be very dark colors. I know it's not the best time to stitch very dark colors like that when it's gloomy and rainy outside. Yes, we're gonna have like for a week now warm enough temperatures not to have it as a snow but as a rain. But I guess it's better than sleet, ice, and stuff like that. So this is what I'm gonna be concentrating. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but since it's in a half or what's that called? Not colon, not I don't know. Not a fully half stitch, I'm doing it goblin stitch, so that should cut down at least a little bit of my stitch time to fill this up. So this is what I have now, and I guess I'll come back when I'm done with this part. Well, as you can see, my plan has worked, so it's all done. The long line is finally done. So 700 stitches wide, and that's what we have as the whole row right now. So that's the first row. 700 by 50 is done. So the next year I want to do a minimum one full row. So I don't know if I'm gonna go just as a row, or maybe I'll fill in, because it's gonna be in the beginning all of this like a background in here, so I might just trickle it down a little bit more. But stitch count wise, I would love to do at least that one row. So that one is done, and as you can see, there's not much interest was in here, so that's just kind of cleaning out boring stuff before we hit as a fun things. So now I'll show you what I'm gonna be picking up next. And it's again my another monthly, so it's Mirabilia Dressmaker's Daughter. And since it's already December, so I'm gonna start December like right here. And the area that it's not a full dress, like you know what you can see can fit. So that area calculated if I divide like in three parts, so it would make about 3150 stitches each month of this winter. So I'm probably gonna start doing some of the background like I started in those, so I could get to the main part, which is a dress. And that's gonna be even longer than fall, because seems like it's gonna go down 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 with the dress's length. And like you can see, the summer dress was shorter, and the fall it's not stopping here, it's gonna go down, and the winter is gonna be even more down. But I'll be stitching in the area that I can reach right now until I done all through the spring. So this is blank canvas, and that's where I'm gonna start. And after I do my monthly minimum, I'll come back to you. Well, today is the 12th, the Monday, and I wanted to show you what I bought like over the weekend. All kinds of like a Christmas fabric in yard, 2 yards, half yards, because it was like sale in Joann's fabric plus with a coupon. And you see even this is such a shiny one. And I bought all of this with the thought about Christmas ornaments, so or little pillows or something like mini pillows or that, because I've been stitching, but not FFOing. So I think if I have a collection to choose from, then I might have a more chance of just picking up and maybe start cutting and sewing and adding with the ornaments and little pillows like that. And besides that, I bought some of the like ribbons for the possible trims. I haven't decided what they were used, but I thought it looked good. Also, I have like a Christmas stocking that I need to FFO with too, and I think some of them would work for a lot of those things. So it's nice, and like a background for flat folds would be, especially those two are very, I think, just regular ones that could fit in any style. So did some great shopping to do, but that was not all that I bought. Let me show you what else I grabbed. See this big bag of goodies. It's some of the DMC that I used on Michael's with the coupon. And actually they have this sale at Michael's with the anchor thread. I don't know why they like a clearancing it, but it was good for me to buy. It's a 10 yards and about 50 cents for that, versus like the DMC that was more than that for 8 yards. So I was planning to get just typical ones that were more than a couple per some whips, upcoming ones. And I figured these threads also will be useful. I mean, there is you can change it from anchor. There is a conversion even in the store to DMC, so it always will be useful. I haven't stitched with these type of threads on the spool. I heard some of them could be thinner than like typical anchor that you get as some this kind of form, but I haven't tried it, so we'll figure that out. But it's a big bag of that, so I don't think I showed it to you before. So I'm very excited. Need to put it all away and sort it out, and I can figure out then what to stitch with them, because I think that was for like a 3 projects that I needed, like I said, more than one skein. And I wanted to make sure that it's a similar like a shading of that, because you know sometimes they differ quite a bit from skein to skein. So those are goodies. I know I looked at Joann's, and anchor threads are not for clearance. It was only in Michael's. So let's go to my stitching then. And for the stitching, here is my December portion of Dressmaker's Daughter. As you can see, it's not many colors used. Pretty much all the background here was in one color, so it was going pretty fast. Just needed to make sure I calculate where the empty space for beads is gonna be, because there'll be like back stitching going throughout, like a veins, and just a few two I think colors I used in here. So that was all for this. So of course it went faster, although I didn't get a lot of stitch time, but like I said, the background is fairly fast to stitch with this one color, no color changing. And I did tiny bit more than a third, but I think it's good, because like when it comes to back stitching and especially beading, then it will take me longer to do. So I wanted to get this done as much as possible, and I kind of debated to do another day or not, but decided it's okay. It's December, I wanted to do some wrap-ups, and especially when February is shorter than the typical months, and that's where all biggest part is going to be with the beading. So that will need to work more. But I'm gonna set this aside, and I'm gonna go actually to something that I wanna finish this month, and this is a La Dimensions timeless ornament, and like one of them I've done looks like that. So it's a from AliExpress kit. So I'm stitching this one, and I wanted this to finish this month, and there's quite a bit work still left to do, even though it's a fairly simple design. Like you can see in here, there's going to be ribbons and the back stitching, and the cording goes all around, and the beads of course, and all that stuff. So beading again, and especially with the ribbons, it will take me a little bit more time to work, but right now I'm just doing the main stitching. So I don't know how long I'm gonna spend, but I have about 3 days to stitch on that before I'm gonna start new to celebrate my birthday. So I need to get as much done before that as possible on this whip, and we'll see how it goes then. So I'll see you in a second with some more progress. I hope it's gonna be big. Well, I worked for a little bit, and as you can see, all the stitching is all done in here. And what I started doing is I've done already the cording area here with the 3 threads that I just twisted, and I was attaching it with invisible thread ely. As you can see, it's a needle still sticking in here. And then I started this ribbon that came with the kit put on, because I have it in my previous ones. I thought about using this one that was also in the kit, so it's a little bit thinner, but since other ones I already used this thick one, so I figured I might as well use the same one. The only problem is that when you pull it through the fabric, it becomes like entangled, and I don't know if it's gonna focus. So entangled one, and then I have to just try to flatten it out. You can see like a difference between this and that. And then I was attaching again with the invisible thread, just like stabbing through a little bit and attaching through the sides, so when I try to move the ribbon, then it would not move. So other than that, it's gonna be some French knots happening and some like a snowflakes, so it's not very hard design to do. But since today I'm celebrating my birthday, and I'll do a little separate video, hopefully you already seen it, that I'm trying to pick something also for next year as one of the starts out of several other BAPs. Few of them are just not the plain stitches, but a different type. And then I'm gonna draw the random generator, draw a name that who would want to get some pattern from Astra, that you've seen me stitching several pieces of her designs patterns, and it's a full coverage. So I want to do that as part of my birthday celebration. But let me show you what I picked to stitch on my birthday. And that's gonna be Lilith by Chris Ortega. I had this pattern bought years back from Heaven and Earth Designs, and that was supposed to be almost like 800 stitches a height, but I asked Asta to make it a little bit smaller for me, kind of like redo this picture, and she did it. And what I've got is gonna be couple of hundred stitches less in height, and there's gonna be blends, so like 55 pure and 80 what the 6 I think blends. So weirdly camera pulls those colors of flowers and leaves way brighter than it's gonna be at least in here through the camera lens. But I'm gonna be doing separate video for this piece from starting point and progress sometime later, months later, you'll see it. But I just got the fabric cut and sewed and put on my homemade frame. I haven't done the sides yet tension, but it's fairly sturdy. I made it very tight, and the same on this side, so I'll probably do that. And I kind of marked where my corner is gonna be, so the width, it's what you can see markings is up to that point. So this is how wide it's gonna be, you know, like a hand. And I put plenty spaces on the edges because I had like 40-inch wide piece of fabric. This is 25 count Luca S, like a canvas goblin, and it's different from like Lugana because you can see the holes are way bigger. So that's kind of nice, and I already have at least one work on this kind of fabric, and those yellow lines will disappear after I wash it out. So that's what I'm gonna start today. Probably not gonna be a lot of stitches done, but I wanna work for a couple of days on this, and because I've been waiting for quite a few years to stitch this. I started in what was it, December 31st of 2017 I think, on Lugana by Haid pattern. But like I said, I'm restarting it now, so we're gonna see how it turns out as a pattern with the blends. It might be a little bit less strong in the dark colors because I'll be doing it half stitch. So hopefully it will go much faster with the continental half stitch. So that's it for now, and I'll see you in I guess a few days. And here it is, just over 1% done. So when you can see a bit closer, you can kind of tell that it's some shading happening in here with the plant. So just try to grab the color in here and just go until pretty much finished. I try to keep up in this little area, and like this is gonna be already for my big blue flower start, so that's where all the dark colors ending. So I decided to stop in here since like I said, it's over 1% was done. And then I worked on something, and just a few minutes ago finished too. Can you guess? Ta-da! It's just finished, fresh off the press. I just took it off the frame, so you see kind of holes in there, and already put my next little ornament on the frame for the next year. And so far I've done with 4 of them, and like for example, I have a couple in here. They haven't been washed yet, waiting to do all together. So you see this had I think it's upside down. Yeah, here you go. So this had a little bit more work, like a scroll work parts done, and more back stitching. This one had also some more scroll work, twist cord kind of thing, and back stitching. But this, it took me, it seems like forever to do all of this. it's a lot of attachment for the ribbon. You see it's very strongly put in, nothing is moving. And uh, for those little snowflakes, I used actually a acrylic of my own and beads, but you can't see much of the white French knots in between. I guess I could have done with like a white beads, but I decided not to do. So this is finally done, and I think that attaching the ribbon string with the beads and cording took me as much time as I did stitching the whole thing, seems like it. I did not have a lot of time stitching in the past several days. Today is the 20th and it's late afternoon already. So seems like I was stitching on this like forever, just after all the cross stitching, doing all those ribbons, and I was attaching beads on every intersection, and the ribbon with invisible thread, so we needed to make sure that it's nice and secure and not gonna come off loose in the back side. So that was taking quite a bit of a time, but it's done. I'm very happy. 2 more left to do. So my plan for next year is going to be to start and finish at least 1, possibly 2. That would be great, so I can finally start FFOing this piece. So the next, before Christmas, because on Christmas, if I want to start something new, I'll show you what I'm going to be stitching right now. And it's my Dimensions Coral Peonies. Right now I have 64% here done. So I don't have any specific amount to do for this month, just as much as I can before the thread, before new start for Christmas gonna be. So I'm just gonna be working next 3 possibly 4 days. It's not gonna be a lot of stitching because I'm prepping house for guests and for Christmas, you know, gift wrapping, all that stuff. So just gonna be filling in all those empty spots in here with the background and the flowers themselves, and finishing up like a back stitching, which is quite a bit still left, and there's gonna be those stamens, how you call it, in here. So we'll see how much I can do in this month, because this whip is gonna be finished next year. So the more I do this month, the less gonna be left for next year. So we'll see how much I can do, and need to do all kinds of different other videos for next year's plans, so that's gonna cut off some of my stitching too. So I guess I'll see you in a few seconds with some progress on this part. Well, today is 25th of December evening, and I decided to stop by and show what I've done with this piece, the Dimensions Coral Peonies. So it might not look like a lot, but I actually became 74% marking person, so I'm very happy. So like about a quarter of the piece is left to do. I've been doing some back stitching, like some of this fat one couching that I did in these areas I've done, and as you can see, slowly I've been doing the back stitching below. So because I'm gonna roll up next frame, and I wanted to have it fully done, like this couching part was not done before. So I've been slowly kind of filling in all those spots below and going all the way to the bottom here that I could reach, filled in more. So it's looking more and more fancy. I'm loving it more and more. The only thing is gonna be here a little bit specialty, like little working happening. But that's where I'm gonna stop, because like I mentioned before, that for Christmas I wanna start something else. So I'm gonna set this aside until after New Year, and I have what, maybe like a 9,000 maybe less stitches left total. That includes all the specialty stitching and the back stitching and half stitches. So I'm very excited about that. Let me show you what I'm grabbing today to stitch for a few days. And what I'll be starting, don't know how long I'm gonna be stitching it for, but I wanted to at least start today because, you know, it's Merry Christmas, by the way, to all. If you're celebrating that, and hope you had very nice holiday, surrounded by your family and friends, or if you by yourself, that you had a nice relaxing time, what you wanted. And we had a bad winter weather before, so my sister-in-law couldn't come right away with the family, so our big dinner with the family, extra members, is postponed for a few more days. We just had a very small dinner with my kids, our kids, and it's something quiet. That's why I'm able to sit down in here. And this is Nora Corbett's Santa Sleigh from the Christmas Eve Couriers, like a group, because the reindeer is going to be next. And it's suggested to stitch in twilight blue linen 32 count. And actually, I showed on a separate videos that I had two different totally shadings of that name fabric, and it was like very different. So I've decided to pick this. It's a smoky pearl Belfast, also 32 count, and it's all sitting in the frames here. I put it on frames and it's all ready to stitch. So we'll see how much I can do on this piece, and I wanted to at least start because I want to return the pattern back to its owner. So wish me luck, and we'll see how much I'll be able to do. Well, today is the 27th, so I've decided I might as well stop filming for December now, because I'll be filming it, getting all the whips that's gonna go into 2023, separate video. Also, I want to do separate video for the projects in 2022 that I finished already, so it's all of that still waiting ahead of me, and these are getting by very fast. So you see it's already just over 22% done. So I just concentrated, started from the middle point and just went on the left side. So you see by my hand how big this whole thing is gonna be. So that's just like a quarter of the whole pattern. So just picked a few colors. It's still in the picture, you see this green in the middle is much darker, unless the picture is darkened by itself, but this middle part is very light green. And I've seen I think Tina and Stitches, I was stitching this one too, and her middle part is also lighter. So I don't know, maybe we'll see how it all goes, but perhaps the picture itself was darkened. Usually it's bleached out, but this way it will be darkened. If I really don't like it, I might have to restitch it, because I think that's all in one color. That's why it was going so fast. And then some darker colors are very sporadically start showing up in here to go down. So I just concentrated on the top portion here of the sleigh and all those gifts in here. And that's where I might stop for now. Like I said, it's still a few days left till New Year, so I might continue stitching a little bit on this one or grab something else. So I wanted to kind of recap like December and overall whole year. So in December with this, it was was the 10th whip that I worked on, and the 4th new start. So I started some other ones, and like a Lilith, it was the big one too. So overall, I haven't counted the stitches, of course, in December, because December is not over yet. But if you look at the whole year, I started the year with, let's see, 17 whips that came from 2021, and I finished 3 of them. And parts of some, like Stitcher's Alphabet, that's separate pieces. Also, I had 22 new starts, and out of them I finished 16. So total, I worked on 39 whips and finished 19. So the whips amount that goes in next year is going to be total 20, and I'm going to be starting, of course, some next year. And out of those whips that continue to go in the next year, about 10 are big ones, so like a full coverage or like chatelaines, something big. So we'll see how it all goes. Also, I wanted to tell you guys that I'm considering changing my channel name because some people don't understand sometimes that my channel name is about mostly stitching. So I was thinking that I can change it in something like Stitches and Coffee with Jurgita or something like that. I put out a couple chat groups, Stitchy chat groups with that few idea suggestions, and majority of them liked that name, so I might go with that. We'll see, unless suddenly I get an influx of all of you suggesting something else, maybe take my name off. But I figured if I mention it more often, or if it's on the channel name written, then pronunciation will be much better for everyone. So that's one of the things I'm considering. And one more last thing before I go in this video, at least, is I haven't been buying a lot of stuff, so it's usually don't even show any of goodies to you. But I just got today a little small package from Ukraine shop, so I thought I would open up the package together with you and show you what I've got. It was my way of supporting at least one shop in there, and it arrived pretty fast. I thought it would take way longer, but it came fairly fast. So Ukrainian Post is trying to work well. So let's go to the next area and I'll show you what I've got. So here it is. It came in this wrapped plastic black bag, all protective, and I couldn't remember how many ordered, even though it was fairly soon, not that long ago. So I'm just gonna like cut it here, and then I'm gonna show you what's inside, so I don't get all the noises of plastic. Okay, I cut it off, but the smell of plastic is, when you get from AliExpress something and it has those plasticky bags, so it smells exactly like that. So let's set this aside, and there is the box. I don't know how much it weighs, but we'll see what I've got. They had some sale on the one specific Ukrainian company things, so I wanted to try out more of that. And ooh, there's more tightly wrapped in the plastic. So you see my first kit, because I ordered kits, and more plastic. Let me cut some of that before I show it to you. All right, so here we got one of them is this Lucas kit, and it's called the Snowfall on Ada 16 count. You can kind of read in here. It's Ada 16 count. Fabric is Lucas, 36 colors, and about the medium 3 out of 5 hearts skill level, and it gives you the size in centimeters and inches, and that's showing that it's gonna have a back stitching, and that it kit includes needle threader and a couple needles. And let's see what else, that gridded crosses, I guess. So it's Moldovan company, and I've seen in some videos this kit showing as being stitched, and I loved it. My daughter loves wolves besides and foxes, and a few years back before COVID, we actually went to the wolf sanctuary in Missouri near St. Louis, a little bit to drive, and we saw wolves of different types, and heard them howling, and we had a nice, very nice tour. So I thought that would commemorate, and I've heard that if you're stitching wolves, it's better to stitch pairs because it represents like a love. So if you stitching one wolf. It's like a lone wolf, and you don't wanna stay lonely, so it's better to stitch a pair. So that's what it looks like, and this is a new type of packaging that they do. So you see just a tiny window of all those threads in here and what's in there, and looks like a fabric is just plain white color. 16 count, and that was one of the kits. Let's set this aside, and you can guess by the amounts in here that Abris Art had a sale in there, and that's stitching on a natural art canvas. So it's like a beading on a pre-printed fabric, and you just stitch beads in certain ways. And this one is called Mother's Tenderness, and I fell in love. Somebody was stitching on this, I think might have been also Ukrainian or Russian before, and loved how it looks, and the size is 16.1 by 11.8 inches, and it's showing that it's going to have 12 colors with the beads, and it contains micro beads, and that's gonna be like around, I think around noses or something like that. So in the package it has very nice instructions. I already have one of Abris Art. I have not tried to stitch yet, so I'm hoping to start one of Abris Art pieces and make it as a whip. So it's just going to be a lots of beading and follow directions which way to go, because you see it's not just a straight lines, but it's going to be interwoven, and you have to follow which bead and which position. So that's one. Another one is slightly different with the fishes. It's called Blue Gold, and 18 colors and 5,266 beads, and in Mother's Tenderness it was 15,609. So this is way less, and you can kind of see also that the fish has some coloring in there, like it's all painted in here, and so this would be a little bit smaller. Again, it's the same way packaged, so you can't see what's inside unless you open up. But that's what it's going to be, the two, and there's more. Let's go look at those first. So another one is Lion, Aslan. His name is Aslan actually, and you can see that there's going to be different size beads, like looks like a big pearls in here, and different coloring in here, and of course golden parts. So the scenery is again printed like a sun, and where it's laying. 15 colors and 13,860 beads with the including micro beads. So I would imagine micro beads again is going to be probably around the facial features to show a little bit more, and that's also tempting to stitch. Right, this one. And the last one, because it's a cat family, so I figured my daughter loves cats too, although my husband is allergic to them. That's why would I have a cat in the house. And it's a bast, and I like Egyptian history and all the mythology. I've done some like studying for myself, of course, about all of that, and Mayan. I love those cultures in the past. So this cat looks like almost like a diamonds in here, at least from up close here, so sparkly and beautiful. And again, you see beads gonna go in all kinds of different directions. So I'm gonna be very curious to see if I would have to omit any beads, like in Mirabilia when I stitched that, I would have to omit some beads, but of course it's because 32 count fabric there, but here it's pre-printed, so you have to do exactly, and we'll see how it goes. And it's 13 colors of beads, includes micro beads, and just over 11,000 beads total. So that's that. If you're interested, you can always check out their website to see what kind of kits they produce. They had a lot of very interesting ones, but I've decided to stick to more not a traditional, but something not too abstract to try out. So those were one, two, three, and four of this art kits, and one Lucas. Then did they tape this too? Wow, did they tape it up so nothing would leak out? And one of Lanarte kits that I've been eyeing for a while is this it's called Romance Lilac. Man, is that going reflection? Let me take the this off and then I'll show you. Okay, I took it off. I guess they really want to make sure nothing, no liquids get in this. So I've ordered from this store before, and it was not packed like that. So I guess they're due to situations, they want to make sure everything travels well. So hopefully you can see a bit better. It's not a new kit. It was a little bit older, but I liked it for a while, and it's called Romance Lilac Flower. And as you can see, there's several of them. I also like this one. I can't remember. I don't know if it's called like a bride or something. So they're all like a gentle female portraits in here. And it has 100% linen fabric, 14 threads, it says, 35 count. I guess 100% cotton threads and a needle and chart that's included. So the size would be about 8 by 12 inches, so not too bad. Like, as you know, I'm stitching my Asian couple, my first kit from Lanarte, and I love it how it's all stitching, and you can see through the window the thread colors in here and the fabric. So if you're interested to check out, I think if you type in Lanarte, it would show some kits for you. But interesting that says Lanarte product made by Verachtert NV. I don't know what the NV is for, but this is what I want to stitch. I think the one thing that Lanarte has and those kits that the fabric is pre-printed, so I don't have to like stitch or dye my fabric. It's specifically made for these kits, that way printed, and it gives different kind of feeling when you stitch on this. So that's one. And as I said, I'm stitching my Asian couple, and I thought that this one would go well as a pair. And I know this one is kind of harder to find, and even on their website it was pricey, but not as much as you could find like on eBay or something. So I think this kit might be possibly out of print. I'm not sure, but it was the cheapest for me to get it all the way from Ukraine. So it does not look like much, but I've seen stitchers doing this piece and showing it, and although I haven't seen like a live, like a holding in person, but what I've seen, it's amazing. You can see by the threads that there's a gold thread in here too. By the way, size is 48 by 50, so it's not a small size. And from a culture, as you can see, there's some different ones. I'd love to stitch, find a good price for a gypsy at least, and what's that culture girl? I think something girl is called in here. So that would be very interesting to stitch. And I have an African woman also kit. I haven't started, but I thought with my Asian couple this would look great. And all of this yellowish color in here is stitched with the this thread, sparkle one, golden thread. So his outfit is just shines, and not a lot of stitching in here to do. It's a blackness, but the whole outfit is just sparkles and it looks amazing. So I'm hoping to get the same look out of my work, so I can hang both couple next to each other and then continue my culture scenes with these. So that's what I got from Russian Ukrainian website. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Like I said, it arrived pretty fast. There are several Lucas kits that I'd love to get hands on to, but I'll try and wait for that. And last thing that I thought, if you live in US and you have a Dillard's store near you, that me and my husband went today. Sorry for the noise. So like Dillard's bag. And somebody in our local stitcher group posted that these ornament stands are on sale for half off. So these small were just $6. So I'm planning to do some stitching round bows and things like that. So that would be perfect to hang hopefully in there. And so I got several of those. It's just a simple box, a walnut finish hanging stand. So if you want to get some stands and have a Dillard's nearby you, I don't know if you can order online or not, but you can get it. I saw one box, the lady there was very helpful worker, that it said large, but it was only box. There was nothing in it, empty. So they had only small ones, so I figured I can hang something in several of those. So I got a collection, and they still have it by me. But unless I change my mind, I'm gonna be getting maybe more. We'll see if they have anywhere else that's large size. So I thought that was kind of nice that it holds from, you know, sturdy enough from both sides. You can kind of have to put together on the bottom, stick it in. So that's, I think, it for now, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and let me know in the comments below what you think about the name changing, and about some of those kits, and about my stitching. Like I said, I'm probably gonna be stitching tiny bit more before the end of the year, but I have to put together a lot of different videos, and time is crunching. I'm not gonna participate a lot in the different gaming groups in there, just a few, because I'm putting together plans throughout the year like I did in this year, and hopefully I'll be able to sum up everything and show you how I did according to my plans. So that will be in the future. So until the next time, this was Jurgita saying bye-bye.